Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Second year students, we have this lecture, and we have lastly we meet Santiago have another struggle with a shark. He has an enemy attacked him, and we comment on this in the last lecture. And the last thing we stopped at this page, he said, I must not deceive myself too much. This means what? This means that he, through all this journey and through all his attempt to prove himself, he deceived himself. In what way? That he stand against the idea and forgetting the concept of time, age, and he just went to prove for others his ability of machines. And as if this reminds us of people who went to achieve immortality by holding the youth forever and the strength forever. And this reminds us also by the 16th century poets who went and they are the concept of immortality. It is of course not physical immortality, because physically speaking we are subject of fading away. We have to what? We have to die. We agree or don't agree, we supposed to grow up, lose our power, our youth, our beauty, and we have to get an old and then to die. But one could hold the immortality in what way? Of course in his own behavior, in his own good thing amongst others, and in this way we are going to be immortal in the memory of our people. Only we can save this memory in the people, because this is on this immortality on the spiritual level, not on the physical level. This is one point that we supposed to comment on it. Also we have to talk about another critiques, focus on another aspect in this story, that describing this story as naturalistic story. What do we mean by naturalism? Is that naturalism here, this is the definition of naturalism, and naturalism as a movement, as a literary movement, appeared in French by Émile Zola, French dramatist, and he is the leader of this movement. And here in this paragraph we have a full definition of the naturalism. طبعا naturalism means human beings don't have a power of choice, and our behavior, our personality are determined by two factors: heredity and environment. So we remember that in first year when we study Oedipus, for example, Oedipus doesn't have a choice about of choice, rather he is a victim of his fate. And here, according to this movement, man is a victim of what? Of the nature. By nature we mean what? Means that it is external forces that is stronger than our ability. It is represented by either heredity or environment. This is the simple meaning of the naturalism. And of course, as a movement, naturalism means it has certain features. Also the characters and the work of this movement has certain elements supposed to be found in them in order to describe them as naturalistic stories and naturalistic characters. So the first features is to be found in naturalism. It is the determinism. Al-Hatmiyya means what? Means there is that human beings is what? Is dominated by what? By the nature and or fate. طبعا we know in Western society, especially at the end of First World War, no longer believe in religion and fate and so on. So they transferred all these concepts of fate and religion to nature. And you know that, especially with the spreadings of new theories like Darwin theories, Freud theories, people in America or in Europe no longer believe in religion, since they believe in scientists and science and their theories. So here we have nature is dominated man behavior and fate. Some of the people, yes, still believe in fate, but most of them they don't believe in fate. So what do we have here? Here with determinism means what? Means there is a power that is stronger than us. We don't have a power of choice. This is means, what do we mean by what? By determinism. Another features طبعا this feature is related to the character itself. The characters in the stories that is predetermined. His behavior already are determined by external forces that are stronger than his own ability. Also, what do we have? Another feature that is the objectivism. This feature is related to the author himself, and the author of the literary work, not the character of the literary work. What do we have with the objectivism is that the author supposed to be objective as much as possible. يعني we have what? We have a problem. For example, we have a problem with in our society. يعني we have, for example, problems of alcoholism, corruptions of ethics, problems in education, economics problem, politics problem. All these things, يعني the writers take the problem and present as it is in his literary work, without any exaggeration, without any supernaturalism or mythological techniques. No, he presents it in a realistic way. طبعا here the whole movement naturalism is part or branch of realism, and we know what do we mean by realism from the meaning. Reality means here the writer has a problem presented as it is for the reader, of course, to diagnose the errors and stand on the point of weakness. And this could be achieved through a different way, either to use, for example, objective narrator, as do we find third person narrator, as do we find in Old Man and the Sea, or sometimes he presents nameless characters, as you remember in Cat in the Rain we have a nameless woman, American woman. This is to be objective, and this is what do we mean by objectivism. And let's know what do we have. Relating to the major characters are the protagonist. This feature is also relating to the protagonist, not to the character. That he's supposed to be what? Low class person, poor, and he is not loyal, from loyal family or prince or very educated. No, he is low, poor, isolated figure. He has unwillingness to concede defeat, and this is very important. He does never accept the idea of defeat at all, and he has a pride of self-capability, and he always think in himself that he is have ability to do all what he could in the past life. This features of the characters himself. In addition, the naturalistic novel has a pessimistic vision, and the end usually it's end tragically or sad end. Despite there is a heroic effort, despite there is a struggle on the part of the characters or protagonist, I mean, but it ends tragically. This is the features of the novel or of the story itself, and this is the features of the characters, the major character, the protagonist himself. These things are very important to students. Up to now we explain the idea of immortality, and his own view, I mean Santiago view, relating to the immortality. And we talk about naturalism, we define naturalism, we talk about the features of naturalism. Now let's prove that this story is naturalistic story. That here we have a character called Santiago. He has a struggle against the nature, against the shark, against the monolith. Now he lost his battle with whom? With the shark. Yani I mean, of course, I mean physically speaking, materialistically speaking, he lost his battle with the shark. And this point we are going to say, how is that? How is Santiago a naturalistic character? Since he has all these features, yes, he is naturalistic characters. And is this novel naturalistic novel? Yes, it is naturalistic novel because it has all the features of naturalistic story or naturalistic work. So all these things are to be memorized, students, because they are important. And here we have what we have a person who entered to a struggle with the external forces that are and here we have Santiago, that he is a victim of what, of environment, which is the sea, and of heredity. And we know we don't have enough information relating to his past. Of course, you know, this is the style of Hemingway. Hemingway don't provide us with a background of his characters. We quickly meet the characters and all, and has his own problem. So these minors information left to the readers himself to fill them in, because they are not necessary. But again, we have a person who is a victim of what, of the environment, and here the environment is larger than Santiago. That's why it defeats him. This is the idea of what? This is the idea of naturalism, and this is the idea of being naturalistic story. I hope students, those definitions, those points are clear. Now let's move to the story itself. Now we start at this point. I must not deceive myself too, and we comment on this and what he mean he deceived himself, or how he deceived himself. Here, what do we have in this paragraph? He is attacked by 2 shots. So the matter is not stopped. We have another struggle again with similar enemies. Now they are 2, and he is without harpoon, without rope, and he is alone with part of the part of the monolith. I look to this expression. I, he said loud. There is no translation for this word, and perhaps it is just a noise such as a man might make, involuntarily feeling the nail go through his hands and into the wood, as if there is a nail go through his hands, as if there is a nail go through his hands into the wood. Look to this image. This reminds us directly by what? By Jesus Christ, because he is in the process of crucifixion of Christ, because the nails are what are go through the hands of Christ, and the blood are dropping from his hand. Again, we have with Santiago, we have a Christ-like figure. From the beginning till the end, there is a similarity between Santiago and Jesus Christ, because both of them are doing for the good of the poor people. Both of them have a sympathy with those people who don't have ability to protect themselves. Also, look to the story of the monolith. Monolith, at the beginning of the story, he spent 40 days fishing with Santiago, and then he is ordered by his parents to leave Santiago. This reminds us also by Jesus Christ, because his people or his men left him after 40 nights when the Satan seduced them. Also, there is a religious references between them, and through all this story that we have a similarity between Christ and Santiago. I hope the idea is clear. Look here what he did when he is attacked by another shark. He tried to use his knife and put it on the oar and use it as if it is what? As if it is As if it is a harpoon. Instead of his losing harpoon. This is and in this time he could kill the another shark that is attacked him by this way. Okay, what do you have? I, the old man, this is repeated طبعا. I, the old man, said, Galanos, come on, Galanos. This is the name of what? Of the this is the name of the shark. The first shark is called Dentusu. This is Galanos now. They come now. He is attacked by 2, I think. There are 2 sharks. He is attacked by 2 sharks, and this time he is going to enter to this battle without a hope. But this battle, it is not similar to the first battle with the Marlin. The first struggle is for what? For pride, to prove his ability. But now for survival, to save his Marlin and himself from this wicked enemy. Now he don't have a power of choice. He don't have to agree or don't agree. He must complete the fighting till the end. Yani it is not a matter of improvement. No, it is a matter of defend yourself. So here, to be or not to be, as Hamlet said in his famous play, it is not a matter if he withdraw, if he stop fighting, is going to killed by whom? He is going to killed by the shark. So the differences is very clear, and again we have this represent to the nature. This is represent to the environment. I mean the sharks, the sea, those battles. Those represent to external forces that are stronger than human beings. And here Santiago is going to what? And he have to deny, never accept with the idea of defeat. Also, he has a pride of self-control or self-ability, that he has ability of fighting till the end, and that's why he is what? He is going to complete his fighting till the end. So the end of this battle between Santiago and those two sharks, طبعا when he hit them, he used his own knife, as I said, with his oar, fix it with his oar, and in order to make a new harpoon, something similar to the harpoon. I hope yani, the idea is clear for you. And he killed those two enemies, and he hit them on what? On their, either on their jaws or on their brain. You know why he choose this yani head? It is the center of the brain, and jaws because, or its face, because it is the most ugly part of their body. And here what is the result? They died. I mean both sharks, they must have, but what? They taking a quarter of him, of the best meat. So this is the lost. What he lost? He lost the most or the best part of the marlin. They ate a quarter of the marlin. So what we consider this? Is it atonement or is this lost? What do we mean by atonement? Atonement, this leads us to talk about theme of sin. You remember theme of sin and its 4 stage, and the one who feel regret, he's supposed to seek for the salvation and enter to the process of purification and present an atonement, something for God to accept his rebellious, to forgive him. And as if some critics said that eating the marlin by the shark, this represents as an atonement in order God forgiving him and reach to the salvation and the end. Other critics no, saying that it is lost. It is determined lost, something determined, and you can't avoid it. So he enforced to enter to the struggle, and the struggle either you are loser or winner on materialistic level, and here he is the loser. And this is the attitude of critics toward this point, whether losing the marlin, it is atonement to reach salvation, or it is lost. Both of them, each one of them, critics, each group has its own view and has its own justification for this view. What do we have also? Look here, what do we have here? After looking to the destroyed body of the marlin, he is completely he himself is destroyed. That's why we said it is a pessimistic vision. Yes, through all the story, he tried to be optimistic. Despite all the suffering, all the difficulties, always tried to be optimistic and focus on the positive side only. But now he couldn't, because he faced the reality. This is the realism. This is the truth. that the life is not as we would dream, because the life is what? Full with the enemies, full with the difficult moments, and we're supposed not to deceive ourselves too much. This is next shark appeared also. يعني the battle never ends with the both with the appearance of double sharks. No, here we have next shark, next enemy, and he has to fight together. طبعا everyone with each one, he is what? He provide us with the description of the shape of the shark and description of the circumstances of the battle that happened with the shark. And if we read those paragraphs, we know all the detailed circumstances of those battles that he could that he fight despite the all difficulties, despite there is no any hope, and he achieved and to kill this one. And look here, what do we have? He put his hand in the water again because his hands are badly wounded. It was getting late in the afternoon and he saw nothing but the sea and the sky. There was more wind in the sky than there had been, and soon he hoped that he would see land. There is a wind. It is something, يعني symbolic meaning of the wind means what? Means hope. Symbolic meaning of the wind means change. He hoped that there's something to change in his case. That's why he hoped that he could see the land. Now he is what he has. His oar is broken also because the side effects طبعا of this battles with the sharks, that his oar is broken, and he has يعني this by itself, I myself consider it as an achievement for Santiago, for an old man to pull all those sharks and to fight against them, and before this he gave a marlin alone. This by itself is achievement. Now his oar is broken. Now he wished the shark come. They were both galanos. So this is what? This is the name of the two sharks that they come together. And again he killed them, and look, he hit them on the brain or on their face, because their face, especially their jaw, is very ugly. This reminds him by the devil or something like this. And the brain, it is the center of thinking. That's why he killed them on those parts. When he killed them, he didn't want to look at the fish. Why? Because each one, each shark, when he attacked him, he is going to take part of the marlin. So what's still from the marlin? The marlin not completely destroyed. There is a remains of the marlin, not complete marlin. He didn't want to look at the fish. He know that half of him had been destroyed. The sun had gone down while he had been in the fight with the sharks. So this is the disappointment. He at the end, that the fish is destroyed, and this actually destroyed him. And he what? He couldn't see the Havana or the land of Havana, and he is wondering whether the boy is still there, whether the boy worry about him, still remind him or not. He is wondering whether all his job is worthy doing this or not, or it is just a trivial journey that he makes, or he pay all these efforts uselessly. He is still wondering whether what he did is right or not. And what finally what he said, the final of this lecture. طبعا look here, after the climax of getting the marlin, we have here the following actions. Here what do we have? Look to this paragraph. Half fish, he said, fish that you were, I'm sorry that I went too far out. I ruined us both. So what do we have here? يعني here he apologized for the fish, because now the fish, it is just half of the fish, it is destroyed fish. So it is ruined, it is destroyed, but actually it is not the only one that is destroyed. Even Santiago, he is destroyed too. So he apologized. It is a confession that he committed a mistake relating to the fish, and there is a union because both of them now, he said this previously, they are one, they are brothers, they are one, having one soul, and now said that I ruined us both. What I did, it is wrong. It is wrong for the Marlon and wrong for himself, because that entering to a such struggle from the beginning, it is his own choice. Since it is his own choice, it is so his own fault. While I mean the struggling with the fish, not struggling with the shark, because struggling with the shark, it is not his choice. He enforced to do this. This is similar to what? Similar to his fate, similar to the nature. I mean, environment that is stronger than him. So he is not sorry for the shark, but he is sorry for entering for the first struggle. So this is a confession. This is that he reached to this realization that he commit a mistake, and he is what he is, a criminal in this sense, because since he killed a marlin for the sake just of the improve his own ability of fishing, not because of the money, not because of his hungry, no, just because he is want to improve his ability. Despite the age, despite the time, despite the circumstances, he have a feeling of self ability of doing these things. So again, here we have a person who deceived himself. Students, I think we are supposed to stop here because it takes half an hour in our recording. So thank you very much, students, for your listening.